285% return on investment on land. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I know that people love to talk about things like, oh, yeah, you could have done this, you could have done that. But in this video, in this episode, I'm going to take my personal situation and talk about, y'all remember last year, I think it was last year when we got 2021, when they gave us those stimulus checks. They gave like everybody $1,200 or whatever. And I'm going to show you how I took my $1,200 and my wife's $1,200, purchased vacant land in Arizona, and how it turned out a year later. All right. Because, I've always been talking about, people always say, hey, well, can we buy or whatever? I was talking about land, right? Everybody looked at real estate going up, the housing market going up. But the most important asset that you have in a house is the land that is on. Because think about it, a house is nothing but sheetrocks and some wood and some nails or whatever. If my house burnt down today, they'll build a new one, right? On top of the same land. So land is very important. That's what this episode is going to be about. But if you're catching this live, make sure you hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button or the playback, and make sure you are hitting that thumbs up button. And if you hadn't done so already, ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and make sure hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, hit that like, comment, and share button. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and children of all ages, you are now tuned into the Investor Show. As always, this is your gracious host, the Prince of Investing, Prince Dykes, coming to you guys and girls live all the way from the beautiful city and state of Denver, Colorado. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share button. And as always, I don't have a lot of time, and I definitely know you guys and girls don't have a lot of time, so we are going to jump straight into it. So this video is going to be probably one of my rawest real life experiences with things. And I'm going to tell you what you're going to get out of this video is we're going to talk about the stimulus checks, and we're going to talk about why did I choose land and why do I tell people to continuously choose land and the opportunity cost of that, the results. So I'm going to show you the real results, and then I'm going to show you how I kind of got a little bit of finesse, something I didn't know. So hopefully I can share that with y'all, and y'all could avoid this the next time. And the last thing is I'm going to show you how to find the value of land before you purchase it. Many times we look at land and we look at where it's located and all of this stuff like that, and we don't really know how much it's really worth, right? We know what the price tag is on it, but how do we know what it's really, really worth? So I'm going to give you a tool for that, something that I didn't know that I discovered over time. All right. But let me see what y'all say in the comments before we jump straight into this. Let's go here. Rod C, he says, what up, Houston? Been following you for a while. Rod C, what's going on down there? Houston, Texas. Houston in the building. Rod C, I was just in Houston. When I was in Houston last summer, I was in Houston a couple months ago. I sat down with Chris Senegal. He talked about buying. I was in the 5th ward of Houston. I did a live interview there with Chris Senegal. He went back to the 5th ward, brought a block in the 5th ward. Check out his interview live in his office there in Houston, Texas, in the 5th ward, in the Bloody Nickel that I heard it was called. So shout out to Chris Senegal. Shout out to Houston, Texas. I got to get back down to Houston. Actually, I think I got a wedding in Houston in the summertime. So, but shout out to Houston, Texas. Rod C, thank you for holding me down. So he's been holding me down for a while. Yes, guys, this is coming up on my 9th summer. I've been holding it down now for 9 summers, right? I think it's about this year be my 9th summer. So I appreciate that. Well, Max B, that's my guy, Max B. What's going on, Max B? He said, you're right. Plus, we know they build more land. He said, they can. He said, you're right. Plus, we know they can build more land. That is true. You can, islands and stuff like that. People say, hey, well, not in large masses like we want to. Not like when people say, hey, you can't build any more land. It's like the concept of, can we create more of something? Yes, but not in the magnitude of what's already here, right? That's one of the things that God just gave us. So, but yeah, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Let's go ahead and be real with it. Let's go ahead and just be honest in this episode. So y'all remember last year when the market crashed, in 2020 when the market crashed, and we had this pandemic going around. It seemed like the pandemic just disappeared. As soon as Russia invaded Ukraine, the pandemic disappeared, right? That's what it seemed like. But anyway, y'all remember they gave everybody these stimulus checks. It was these, I think it was $600 per kid and $1,200 per person, per person. So if you was married, you got $2,200 $2,400, 1,200 plus 1,200. Then your child got 600. People talked about, hey, I'm gonna throw it in Bitcoin, I'm gonna throw it in stocks, throw it in real estate. Then when it came down to real estate, everybody said, well, you can't do nothing with real estate. And I said, well, you can buy land. There's some cheap land out there, or whatever. A lot of people call me crazy. Some people listen, some people didn't listen, or whatever. But this is one of the things when the money got sent, I didn't need the money. My wife and I, we was blessed enough that the pandemic didn't really affect us economical wise. So, when a lot of people was hurting, we didn't really need to say, hey, what we want to do with it? And I said, hey, with inflation and everything that's going on, let's buy a little piece of cheap land, vacant land somewhere. And she was like, well, you gonna buy a piece of land for $2,400? I said, trust me, it's something online. And I'm going to show y'all exactly how and why, and I'm gonna give y'all the proof. All right. So the next question is, why land? Why land is when you living in a high inflationary environment, housing, you see the housing prices go up, land has to go up. We're at 7.5% inflation in January. The new inflation number is going to come out next Thursday on March 10th. The CPI report, the Consumer Price Index report, what I'm going to report on. And I guarantee you inflation is at 8% or higher. So inflation is going to be at 8% or higher. So as inflation is going up that high, and you seeing these housing markets just go crazy. For prime example, I bought this house 2 years ago, and now it's worth almost $200,000 more than valued at $200,000 more than what I purchased it for. That's crazy, right? But that's a side effect of inflation. As the price of goods and services go up, real estate just has to go up, right? And I believe the Federal Reserve is going to step in and raise interest rates and try to curb it. But I think it's not going to be a knee-jerk reaction. I think probably next year you'll start to see real estate probably start to cool off, going back to what they did in the early 80s when inflation was in double digits. But I think we're headed towards double digits by the summer, a hot inflationary summer. But this is why I chose land. Now, why land? Also, look at what other options did I have? I could have put it in stocks. It's true, but I've already owned a good bit of stocks. I've already owned pieces of land as well. And I said, well, look at a savings account. A savings account, the actual savings account right now is 0.06. The annual average savings account is 0.06 per year. So I said, okay, if you put it in 0.06, but inflation, we already know is at almost 7-8%. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket science to say, hey, I'm losing money here. The only advantage you really have with a savings account is you have the liquidity, meaning that you can pull the money out. Like right now, I can go to the ATM and go pull out of my savings account and go get a haircut. I can't do that with land. So that's a liquidity risk that you take by not putting it into a savings, by putting it in somewhere else. So, but this is why I chose land. I said, hey, a savings account is not going to work. I look at the stock market. The stock market was a little crazy all over the place. Crypto, I already have some crypto, but I really don't even know what crypto is. I'm just being honest. It's a lottery ticket. I got a couple lottery tickets sitting somewhere in crypto, but I really don't know exactly what it is. I'm just being 100% honest with you guys and girls. So I said, hey, you know what? You can't buy a house with $2,000, right? So let's get a piece of vacant land that nobody wants. That's why I chose land. Now it's time for me to show y'all the results. Y'all get ready. Hold on, where is it? Where's my sound? Where is my sound? I didn't even drum it up. I need to put it on this one. Here you go. That's going to be my drum roll. So we're going to pull up the results. Let me see what y'all say in the comments before I pull up these results. Oh, okay. He said you can't buy. Yeah, you can't make more land. You're right. I know earlier you were saying, I thought you said you can. I'm like, yeah, I know. I've heard people talking about they made a little island or something like that or whatever, but it's not in the magnitude. No, we're not out here creating whole cities and states, but maybe a little dirt island add on to an island or something like that, maybe, but nothing else significant where we're going to be building houses and installing plumbing, all that type of stuff. All right. So let me see what else. I can't just say, oh, little says, finally got to be here live. You inspire with what you share. Thank you. Okay, where you checking in from? I think your name is Old Little. Old Little. Well, I appreciate that, Old Little. Let me get back. Let me give you a round of applause for that. Shout out to Old Little. Yeah. So yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, let's get into it, y'all. Let's show the results, y'all. Oh, it's from Las Vegas. All right, Las Vegas in the house. Las Vegas. I was just in Las Vegas I was in Las Vegas for what weekend was that? Veterans Day weekend, November of last year. I sat down with Brandon Marshall, former Broncos linebacker. Did a whole. I'm going to put out his whole interview, but a couple of his clips of his interviews. He invited me out to his house and did a nice, Super Bowl champ there. So just was in Vegas a couple months ago, right? So yeah, definitely check that out. All right, Las Vegas in the building. Let's get to it, y'all. Let's see the results. Let's show y'all the results. Prince, let's get to the results. So I'm going to show y'all this, and I'm going to show y'all how I got it. You're going to get you're going to learn a good bit, hopefully, out of this, because I know I did by going through it. So here it is. I'm going to show y'all all the proof right here. This is all the proof. So where I'm at right now this is Mohave County in Arizona. Arizona. Do I know what Mohave County is? No. It was somebody was online selling a piece of dirt land, right? And I said, hey, let me check this piece of crap out. It was online for like $2,000. So y'all can see it right here. This is on the county's website, the Mohave County website. So any county, anywhere you buy land is going to be owned by a county, right? So with that county being said, you can see right here, I purchased 1.14 acres, a little bit over an acre of land in Mohave County. And you can see it right here. So y'all won't be seeing online. It says the owner is who? What name is that? Prince W. Dykes. Middle name is Wesley. I brought it on February 1st, 2021. It was a vacant piece of land. And what did it say? I brought it for $2,195, right? Now, here's the thing. Who I brought it from, they purchased it about a year prior for $1,080. And they sold it to me for $2,195. So I purchased it for $2,195 a year ago, 1.14 acres of vacant land. Now let's stroll up here and see, hey, what's the value of that land today? So right here, the previous year, look at this current year, 2022, the year we in. Here we go here. Where is it at? Where is it at? The full cash value of this land is $8,464. So y'all can see I purchased this land for $2,195. And right here, a year ago, now they're saying, hey, this land full cash value is worth about $8,464. Right? Now, this is what I'm paying taxes on. So I have to pay property taxes. That's true. But the property tax is not that much, right? So as you can see, this is my name on it, right? And it's 1.14 acres that I purchased for $2,195, which was below what I had. And I came on live and showed everybody. And here we are a little bit over a year later, and you can see how much this land is worth. That's 285% return. Right? So when you look at this, current year, look at the future year they have here, whatever, paying property tax on this land. But this is down in Mohave County in Arizona. So what I learned about the whole game of land is I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to get into that, but that's my results. And we're going to go a little bit further. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. As I'm, you know what? This is not as big as I wanted it to be. Let me get this bigger. There we go. Hopefully y'all can see it better now. I didn't want it to be as big. I want it to be bigger so y'all can see it. So right here, y'all can see it tells you Prince W. Dykes paid $2,195 for this piece of land February of last year. And today this land is worth $8,464. Is the total, it's the land value, coming from the county commissioner, right? Tax assessor or whatever the case may be. So when you look at this full cash value of everything with the land or whatever, it's cool. It's like a savings account to me. That's how I look at it. I look at it as better than a savings account. So now when you look at this, let's get into the next thing. I want to stop sharing this. Let's get into the next thing here. What I want to see. I want to show y'all. Okay, there we go. There we go. This is the finesse. Y'all ready for it? This is the finesse move. Where people say, well, what do you mean by the finesse move, Prince? This is something I didn't know. I want y'all to learn about. This is the finesse. It's going to be a gem right here. This is the finesse move, y'all. So when you go to buy a piece of land, How I found this land, I searched for land online. I see it, I look at it, I contact the person. They say, hey, I didn't care about the land. How I know the land is owned by you is when the tax assessor asks you for the property taxes. As you can see on that website, my name is up there. My name and my wife's name is on there as owners of land, right? So that's how I know the land is actually mine. But here's the finesse move. When I brought the land, I didn't know how much the land was worth, how much it cost. I didn't know anything about it, right? I said, man, this person's selling me this land pretty cheap. I didn't know how do you find out what a value or what somebody paid for land. Land is just like a house, right? Land is just like a house. But what I mean by land is like a house, y'all can type in my address into Google. Type my address into Google, and it will tell you how much I paid for my house and when I purchased the house. And that goes for anybody. Anybody has an address, you can put it into Google, and it will tell you this house sold for $200,000 2018, right? So the thing is, if somebody, it's very important. This is a very good negotiating tool. How do you know how much somebody paid for land? How do you find that out? How do you know how much somebody paid for land? So, for prime example, this person paid $1,000 for the land. 8 months later, sold it to me for $2,000 for the land. Right? I purchased it for $2,000, and now they're telling me, hey, it's worth $8,000. Cool, that's fine. But I'm gonna walk y'all through this. But I'm thinking, like, wow, if had I known he had only paid $1,000 for this land a couple years ago, I probably would have talked him down a little bit. But I didn't know this information. I didn't know where to go get this information. But you're in luck. I'm going to show you guys today. So the next thing we're going to do, for all y'all that are like, you know what, Prince, that's a good idea. I keep telling people think about land. They think about buying land in New York, LA. I'm like, man, in Colorado, once you get outside of Denver, is nothing. In Kansas City, I've driven all over this country. I've driven back and forth over this country 2 times. I've driven from New York. I've driven from Connecticut all the way to San Diego, California. And I don't been through every state in between. I don't went from New York to California, California to Florida, Florida back to Texas, Texas to Denver, Hawaii, all over this country. I've driven all over, right? And you got to think about it. It's probably estimating it's only probably about 20% of America is really populated. Once you get outside of New York City, look up upstate New York, man, it's wilderness. Same thing in Pennsylvania. Once you get outside of Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, it's Wonderland. Same thing in Colorado. You get outside of Denver and Colorado Springs, you're in the middle of nowhere. Georgia's the same way. Mississippi, Texas. Texas definitely that way. You could drive for 2 days going through Texas. And just land that's just out there all over the world. Now, it's hard to buy land from the first generation. That grandpa or that dad who purchased the land, it's hard to buy from them. They probably won't sell it to you. Like for me, I probably won't sell you my land. But when I pass the land down to my son or to my wife, man, they'll sell that crap for nothing, little to nothing. The next generation will sell it for nothing. Why did I buy land? The real story is I inherited land. But when I inherited land, it was with a bunch of family members on it. And these bunch of family members, we can't agree on what to do with the land. Some people want to sell it. Some people want to keep it. Some people want to keep a piece. Some people want to sell the piece. And while we're doing all that arguing, nobody wants to pay the property tax. So why would I pay property tax for land that I have no control over? So I went out and searched and started buying my own. So that's why. Let me get back to it. Now let's get to it, you ladies and gentlemen. How to see how much a land is worth or how much it was purchased for. That's what I should say. How much land was purchased for before you buy it. This gives you a big negotiating tip. So for prime example, if you go see a piece of land online right now for $20,000, right? You be like, oh, $20,000, 5 acres. It seems to be pretty good. You go and buy it. But let's say if that land is being listed for $20,000, but you know the person who's selling it to you purchased it for $10,000 last year, would you still want to pay $20,000? You may not. You may not care, but it gives you negotiating power once you go to a table to say, hey, look, man, I know you only paid 10 grand for this land. You got it listed for 20. If you want to sell it for 15, you got a deal. Or if you want to sell it for 18,000 or 15,000, you got a deal. If not, then I'm walking away. Right? That's a very big bargaining chip to have when you're going to go buy something. But I'm gonna show you guys and girls how to do that. I didn't know how to find out how much land was purchased for. Let's go do this. I'm gonna walk y'all through a real life situation here. So let's see here. Let's close this out. So look at this website. This website here. This website is selling 5 acres in Colorado Springs right now, right? Y'all see this? This website says we have gorgeous 5 acres in Colorado, 2 state parks, and skiing nearby. You're like, wow, that sounds pretty good, right? Land for sale. Let's go back here. Let's go back here. I think this land is going for, where's it at? Here we go. So this land's going for $23,000. Y'all can see. Let me take it back. This land is going for $23,000. They say, hey, $23,000 what they're asking. Right? It's for 5 acres. You say, man, look at that beautiful picture. It's 5 acres of land, $23,000, 5 acres in Colorado, 2 state parks, and skiing nearby. Man, this is all right. It's a corner lot, awesome view of Colorado mountains. Cool. It's in Park County, Colorado, right? Its elevation is at 9,500 feet. You got the GPS coordinates, all this type of stuff, all this good stuff. You can see all this good stuff on this land. $23,000. It is yours. This person is selling it to you for $23,000. How much did they pay for it? They're not going to tell you that, but I'm going to show you how to find that. Right. So the first clue right here is, this land is held in a place called Parker County, Colorado. I don't know where Parker County is. I've probably driven through it, rolled through it, but I don't know. So Parker County, Colorado. And look, they've been saying we even finance you. You put $1,000 down, pay $481 a month for 60 months, and it's yours. Just pay us $400 for a document fee. Not a bad deal. Put $1,000 down today, pay $481 a month, and it's yours. But this land is in Parker, Colorado. We know that. And here it is, ladies and gentlemen. The APN. The APN is 9033. So let's Google. Let's go look at where is Parker County, Colorado. Let's look it up. Here we go. So what I did a little research, and I said, let's go find Parker County, Colorado, and let's go to the tax assessor. So what we're going to do here, you're going to go to Parker County, Colorado. I went to the website for the tax assessor, right? As y'all can see, public.net, this is Parker County, Colorado. And y'all remember that number, the parcel number 9033, right? 9033 is where the parcel number that he had on the website. Now, how do I know it's him or them or whatever, right? Right here is 4.8 acres. On the website, they say it's 5 acres, but it really says 4.8 acres. But who cares? Round up. It's not really that big of a deal. So I said, okay, well, it's right here. They're saying it's in a state of Colorado, and it gives you right here. It says it is owned by Land Couple LLC. It's a vacant piece of land for 4.8 acres, right? Has no welling. So let's go down here to valuation. You see this? The land valuation in 2021, the land value is $6,794. Total value, $6,794. Wait, hold on. Wait. You telling me the land is worth $6,794 is what Parker County is telling me this land is worth, but the person have it online for $23,000? Does that make sense? Right? You selling land online for $23,000, but I go and I look at the tax assessor. They're telling me it's worth $6,700. Now, why is the tax assessor so important? These are the people who assess the value of your land and then they tax you accordingly. They say this land is worth this. This is what you're going to pay taxes on. So I hold them to a higher regard. So here we go. So they're telling me in 2021, they evaluated this land to be at $6,794, but it's listed to be sold today for $23,000. Now let's go down to sales. How How much did they pay for this land? It tells you right here in the sales. Look at this. The land couple. These are the people that own it. The land couple, right? Vacant land. Sale price. They brought it on July 26, 2020. They brought it for $4,800. So they brought the land for $4,800 in 2020. Now let's look at 2020. In 2020, they told you the land value in 2020 was worth $4,921. The land was worth in 2020 $4,921. The owners paid $4,800, which is a good deal. They paid a little bit less than what the land was worth, which was almost 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, they paid exactly what the land was worth, $4,800, right? I don't know if they got it from a tax lien. I don't know if their cousin gave it to them. They got a backhand deal, whatever it was. They got the land for $4,800 when the land total value was $4,921 in 2021. In 2020, according to the tax assessor. So they bought the land in July 26 for $4,800, but then they're online selling it for $23,000. Right? The tax assessor tells you the land is only worth $6,794. Ladies and gentlemen, you can do this with land anywhere. So once you find a piece of land and you know the county that is in, you can go to the county commissioner's website. You can go to every county has a website and they have a tax assessor. You use the APN number or the parcel number, whatever it is, you type that in and it will give you all of this information. It gives you the whole history of this land. This land was sold for $19,000 and $20,000 and $24,000 and $24,000. Then for some reason it dropped off. I don't know if the family was trying to get rid of it, right? But somebody here, the grantor gave this company the land for $4,800 for whatever reason. I don't know. Maybe it probably was back tax. Maybe it was a tax lien. Who knows? But they paid for what the land was worth. And now they're trying to quadruple their money for little to nothing. You see the finesse move behind that? You can see how much a piece of land is worth. And that, ladies and gentlemen, how you can find out what a piece of land is really worth, how you can use the internet, a simple Google browser, right? I knew this land was in Parker County, Colorado. I typed in Parker County, Colorado, tax assessor, right? Once you get to Parker County, Colorado, or here in Arapahoe County or Denver County or whatever county that land is being sold in, you go to the tax assessor. You type in the land that the person is trying to sell, and it will tell you how much the person brought it for. Now, that person's online. When we all looked at that, and they said we got 5 acres in Colorado near 2 state parks for $23,000. I'm like, man, that don't sound like a bad deal. Until I went and looked it up and said, hold on, y'all purchased this land for $4,000. And the county commissioner said it ain't worth but $6,000. Now that $23,000 don't look so advertising. You can use that information and maybe write the person, email the person, hey, look, man, I'm not going to give you that much more of land. I give you $10,000, $12,000. You can take it or leave it. Oh, no, I can't do that deal. Okay, do you leave it? Because they purchased what it was worth, what it was valued at. They purchased it for $4,800. And according to the tax administrator, it was worth $4,921. So they got a good deal. And they turn around, they got it online for $23,000. Right? Now, when you first saw that land, you thought it was a good deal. But when you looked at to see what it was really worth, did you really think it was a good deal again? Yes, so we got 11 people in here live. Y'all go and hit that like button. Make sure y'all hit that like and heart and share button, right? But ladies and gentlemen, that's what I want to talk to you guys and girls about. Land for sale. How to find land. And hold on, shout out to Ron Artest, the panda's friend, for sending me this t-shirt. I appreciate it. I like the little pandas he got on it. Shout out to Ron Artest for sending me this. I saw it. I said, oh, man. Oh, Meta World Peace, man. I got to put this on. What y'all think about that whole deal that I just broke down? Hopefully y'all got something out of it. Because when I looked at it myself, when I discovered how to do this, I went back and I was like, man, I overpaid for some stuff. That was stupid of me, but I didn't know. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Price doesn't equate value. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Let me see what y'all say in the comments before I get up out of here. I don't know what your name is, Von FYI. I don't know what you're writing there on YouTube. Sunny Money said, I'm ready. Okay, what's going on there, Sunny Money? Hopefully you got something out of it. So, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, there's cheap land online being sold. Some people buy land from tax liens. Some people get land from auctions or however they get them, or whatever. But people would turn around and say, hey, you know what? They value, you can sell. I'm not knocking a person for selling. Like I got an iPhone. You think this iPhone, I don't know what I paid for this iPhone. Pretty sure it was 15, 60, way more. Pair of shoes, anything that I have on, right? I paid for this iPhone. You think this iPhone that I brought for probably $2,000, you think it's valued at $2,000? No. It probably cost them $100 to make. They probably paid $100 to make it and sold it for $2,000. It's nothing wrong with their profit margin. But then again, you got to look at the opportunity costs. That's how you can find what's a good piece of land going for a good price and what's not. When you look at it, you say, oh man, this land is really worth this. For prime example, I go ahead and be 100% honest. When I purchased my house, it appraised for $445,000, right? And I purchased it for $436,000. So before I purchased the land, before I purchased the home, I already had a offer accepted for 436. The house, what's the word I'm looking for? The house appraised $9,000 more than what I had already purchased for. What I had already agreed to pay. So I walked in with I walked in with $9,000 worth of equity. Same thing with land. How can you do that with land? I didn't know. Nobody told me. I didn't know. There's no book, but probably is a book written on it. But they didn't teach me this in school. But this is how I can utilize it. And when I write my children's book on real estate for children, I'm going to put that into a children's book so kids can know. So you can go to the tax administrator. You can look up who owns the land. Every piece of land is tied to a tax administrator. You can look up the land. You can see how much the land costs. You can see what the land is doing, all those things before you look at the price. So when you look at the price, you're like, okay, this land is worth $10,000. They're selling it for $8,000. That's a good deal. Oh, this land is worth $10,000, but they're selling it for $30,000. That's not a good deal, right? Unless you just really, really want it, whatever. Awesome name. What's going on? I forgot. I know awesome name was somebody who's been following me for a while, but I can't remember. You changed your name. You was somebody before, but I can't remember. Awesome name said, yo, Prince and everyone who they nation is here on the prowl for the next big stock. BPT, man. BPT. What y'all talking about? Look at BPT. We've been talking about, Uncle James came on last year and he was talking about oil and BPT. And man, you crazy. This man said Bitcoin. He took a bet on me with Bitcoin and he took a bet on me from Bitcoin he said Bitcoin was going to outperform cryptocurrency. No, he said oil was going to outperform Bitcoin in 2021. I said, man, you crazy. He was right. So he had me looking into it and starting to look into oil. I was never a big oil person or whatever. He said, hey, we got high inflation. We got wars going on. Look at the historics of it. When I look at historics, every time we go to war, Russia is like the world's number 3 producer of oil. And we talking about putting sanctions on them. They're the ones who got all the oil heating majority of Europe. So apparently, if you're putting sanctions on them and they get stingy with the oil, of course, we already know how supply and demand works. So yeah, BPT has been pretty amazing so far this year. It's very volatile, I will say that, but it's been oil has kind of been a hit, So nothing else was hitting. Technology sucks. The entire stock market is sucking right now. There's not too many people that are having great years. Technology is getting hit the worst. You just kind of wait it out where you put money at. Who's making money right now? It's only oil, gold, and commodities, which is tradition. Every time something happens crazy in the world, people go to oil. Every time a war, especially, we go to the world. I mean, everybody runs to oil and commodities. Oh, that's his awesome name. He said Joe from Cincinnati. What's going on, Joe from Cincinnati? Cincinnati in the building. Look at that now. We got Cincinnati, we got Vegas, we got Houston. Well, those are the people who did lists where they was checking in from that would at least hit the live. So, but anyway, y'all, it's late out here. Hopefully y'all have a great Friday night. Thank y'all for spending y'all Friday night with me to learn about sharing my personal story and to talk about that from $2,195, a stimulus check that was used, and now the value of it is valued at $8,000 something dollars. Guess what? So now when I go to write down my net worth, I'm going to use that value and say, hey, this is what my land is valued at. Can I get a loan for this? And I have about 4 or 5 pieces of vacant land that I brought throughout Colorado and Arizona. And just these little pieces of random pieces of land. And they're like little savings accounts to me, right? They're not as liquid, but guess what? I can use the value of those said lands and use that to as a collateral to be able to get a business loan to go buy something or to borrow to go do something, or whatever the case maybe you want to be. And guess what? If the loan goes bad and I lose this vacant land that I wasn't using anyway, I never even saw the land. I would never probably go see it in my life. It's just a savings account. It's just like the bank. Who goes to the bank these days? Every once in a while to go get a cashier's check, or I think that's what they call it. Yeah, the cashier's check or the deposit or check or something like that, but that's rare. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, hope y'all got some out of y'all. Hit that thumbs up button. I see we got 20 people in here live. Y'all hit that thumbs up button. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that subscribe button. Y'all know what my name is. I'm Prince Dykes, the Prince of Investment, coming to y'all live from Denver, Colorado. Until the next video, podcast, book. Make sure you check out my whole book series on Wesley Learns, the podcast too. It's available everywhere you can get a podcast, and here on YouTube, Instagram, all of the good stuff like that. But until the next time, peace, be safe. I'm out. Thank you.